Hello and welcome. In this video I'll show you how to make all the tracking tools and tracking solutions that you have installed on your website follow privacy regulations, mainly GDPR. For that I will be using a free version of a plugin WP Full Picture. I already have it installed here, as you can see, and the tracking tools and solutions that we'll try to handle are as follows. We have Metapixel that we installed with WP Full Picture. We have a Google Analytics, which I installed with a different plugin, Google Sitekit. We also have WooCommerce, which loads a script that is called SourceBuster. We need to make sure that it loads after visitors give their consent to tracking their data. Next, we have a YouTube video here, which needs to be loaded after consent, and the same goes for this live chat application here. So that's quite a lot, so let's get started. Now, when you go to WP Full Picture control panel, you'll see here in the Privacy Solutions section a link to GDPR Setup Helper. This is a page that gives you recommendations on what you need to do at a given moment. So the more settings you enable in a WP Full Picture, the more information you'll find here. So I recommend you look at these recommendations during and after your setup, because it may tell you about things that you're missing. However, for the purpose of this video, I will skip this page. I will only refer to it at the end of the video. However, just to make things quicker, I will simply tell you what needs to be done for specific tracking solutions that we have installed here. So first, when you go to modules, you see that we have Metapixel installed here. Metapixel requires consent banner to be present on our website, so let's do just that. Let's install consent banner and save changes. And now, simply by doing that, we have already taken care of Metapixel. It is because all the tracking tools that are installed with WP Full Pictures modules in this section are automatically controlled by consent banner. And if we go and take a look at its settings, it says that the consent banner works in opt-in mode, which means that it starts tracking when the visitors agree to it, which is exactly what we need. However, this is not everything that you need to do with the consent banner. Here at the bottom, you will see an option, ask visitors for consent again when new tracking tools get enabled. So we need to make sure that it's turned on because it's highly recommended. So let's save changes here. And another thing that you need to take care of is you need to give your visitors a way to change their consents, to change their tracking preferences. And there are two ways to do it. Simply go to customize the banner. Okay. And next, click this option here, button opening the consent banner, and enable it. And then you'll see in the bottom left corner a new button, and when you press it in the live site, at the moment in the customizer it's disabled, but in the live site, when you press it, you will see the consent the consent window popping up here. So let's save changes and go back to the consent banner settings. Now, the other method that you can use if you don't want to have that that icon in the corner of your screen is to add in your privacy policy a link or a button with this CSS class. So with that out of the way, let's proceed to the next thing. Now we need to take care of Google Sitekit here, which installs Google Analytics. For that, we need to go to Modules and enable Tracking Tools Manager option. Let's save changes. Now in the Tracking Tools Manager, you simply need to enable an option to block Sitekit by Google before visitors give their consent. However, let's stop here. Let's not do it right now, because there is one more thing that you can actually do in the Tracking Tools Manager, and this is blocking WooCommerce sourcebuster.js. So the script that needs to be blocked before visitors give their consent to tracking. And now we can safely save changes. So now we have already taken care of three things: Sitekit, WooCommerce sourcebuster.js, and Metapixel. All these three things will be loaded after consent. But there are more things. We still have this YouTube video here, this live chat, and fonts. Okay, so let's maybe go with the live chat right now. Now we need to enable the custom scripts module, save changes. Okay, and custom scripts module lets you install scripts that require some sorts of consent. And since our live chat uses or collects some personal information, we need to make sure that it is loaded by the custom scripts module. Let's take the script of that live chat. I have it here, and let's cut it from this place and let's paste it here. This is called Talk To. This is the provider of the chat. Here you have an option to add the URL of the script's privacy policy, but I won't be doing it right now. And here you need to check what type of permissions people need to give in order to load the script. So I'll choose statistics and personalization and save changes. Okay, so now it's done. Next thing is the YouTube video that we have here. This also needs to be loaded after consent. So let's enable iframes manager here, save changes. And here let's go to the iframes manager module and choose YouTube. Let's save changes. Now, if you have content from other sources, you will need to give its information here in these modules here. However, in this video we only have the YouTube video player, the only thing that we need to manage. But before we go any further, one more important information. YouTube videos and actually other videos are very often loaded dynamically to a website, which means that they are loaded after the page loads. However, WP Full Picture, or actually this option in WP Full Picture, only lets you take control over YouTube videos which are part of the page at the moment of loading. Right, so not for dynamic videos. However, there is a method to take care of it. You need to go to guides and help and go to the documentation page here, how to use it. It will tell you about shortcode method that you need to implement in order to take care of dynamically added content via iframes. So now let's save changes. Okay, and yes, and we'll have YouTube videos already taken care of. And finally, the very last thing is or are Google fonts here. They need to be loaded from a different source. So Google servers cannot be loading them. Unfortunately, this is a bit tricky because there are many ways in which these fonts can be loaded. There are also many places or many plugins, themes that can load these fonts. So the solution I'm going to show you may not work 100% of times. And this is this module here, Save Fonts. So let me just enable it. and I know for sure that it works for this website that I have here at the moment. But I will show you now the difference. Now I will go to click right mouse button anywhere on the page. I will click inspect, and now to sources. And here we have googleapis.com and fontsgstatic.com. These two sources load fonts, all right? And these fonts should be replaced by fonts loaded from Bunny fonts, right? Which is 100% GDPR compliant. And however, it may happen that it won't be the case for your website. In such case, I recommend you go to GDPR Setup Helper, find the Save Fonts section and choose a different plugin for replacing Google Fonts, which is OMGF, right? Or you can find places in your theme and plugins in which fonts are chosen and loaded, and simply disable these fonts. Or you can replace them, if there is such an option, you can replace them with locally loaded fonts. So you'll need to download a font file to your website and then push it to your server. And with that done, we have already taken care of most of the things that are on the GDPR Setup Helper list. There is one more thing that I haven't talked about, which is saving consents. Saving consents is required by GDPR, and you can find its settings here in the records of consent section. However, I won't be doing the setup here right now because it requires registering and logging into a different service, which is consentsdatabase.com, which will let you save proofs of consent on the servers in France. Right, pricing is very low here. It starts at $10 a year for 36,500 consents. So it's actually very, very cheap, and I highly recommend that. However, we won't be doing that in this video. And with that said, we have already covered all the tracking tools, tracking solutions that we have on this website. And now, just to show you how it works, I will now refresh the page with our test site. And as you can see, we no longer have Google Analytics here on the list. We no longer have Facebook loaded. We have our YouTube player replaced by this this placeholder image here with some extra information. We also don't have live chat. However, when I click agree, just look at what is going to happen here. As you can see, all the content that we chose to block has now been loaded. And this sums up this video. So thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye bye.